Okay, what we're going to do right now is show you how to set up your DX9 or DX6 or DX18 transmitter with SAFE so that you can use flaps and retracts using the 7-channel SAFE receiver that's found in the Apprentice S. First thing we want to do is open up your model that you've already set up and bound to your transmitter. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to go down to the system setup screen, and we're going to click on it. And we're going to answer yes. And then we're going to scroll down and look at our channel assign screen, and we're going to just re-verify that our aux2 channel is set to aux2, and that's the channel that you're plugging your retracts and your flaps in via the Y cable. And then you're going to click on next, and then you're going to verify what switch you're going to operate your retracts and flaps on. I have chosen switch F as in Frank, so that aux2 is assigned to switch F, and that's just my own personal preference. It's a 3-position switch. And then we can go back out of there, and the next thing we want to go to is the digital switch setup, and I'm going to click on that. Once we've done that, we're going to select switch F, which is the switch we chose to use our flaps and gear on. And on position 0, I'm going to leave it at positive 100%. Position 2, I'm leaving at 35% positive. That was position 1. And then position 2, minus 100%. What this is going to give us is position 0, flaps and gear are both going to be up. Position 1, flaps are going to go down to takeoff flaps, which is a small portion of your total flap travel. And then position 2 is going to give you full gear down and full flaps down. And when we go to the next segment of this, you can see how each position works on the actual model. So once you set these 3 positions up on switch F, you can go back out of this, go back to your main screen, and let her restart. And here's just a quick look inside the electronics bay for the Freewing F-86 with the SAFE Eflite receiver in it. This is the one found in the Apprentice S. In this particular mass of wires, I have my gear and my flaps connected via a Y harness into the aux2 channel. It's plugged into the aux2 plug. You may or may not, depending on your model, have to use a servo reverser or reverse something in your transmitter to get your gear and flaps moving in the right direction on your per your switch, depending on what your preference is. So that's going to be all up to you. You'll have to test that out on your own particular model. Okay, so we're going to demonstrate where we are with our flaps and gear with the 3-position switch. Currently, the switch F is in the position 0. Here we go. That's switch F, and it is in position 0. And flaps are up and gear is up. When I move it to the second position, position 1, we have just takeoff flaps. These are partial flaps. And then when we move to position 2, we go to full flaps and gear down. And then if I move it back up to position 1, I can have takeoff flaps again, and the gear will remain down. So that would be my takeoff position. I would cycle it through full flaps and then go back to position 1 takeoff flaps. After I've taken off, I return everything to position 0, and everything is no flaps and no gear. Then when I'm ready to land, I like to land with full flaps on this model. So I bring it all the way down to position 2 for full flaps and full gear. If I just wanted to fly around a little bit with half flaps and the gear down, I could just move back to position 1, back to takeoff flaps, gear remains down, and then when I'm ready to land, I can deploy to full flaps.
Gear up.
Flaps up, position 0.
Gear down.
Flaps and gear down all the way, position 2.
Takeoff flaps.
Flaps at takeoff position and gear down, position 1. And then everything back up again on position 0.